In the last 10 years, growth marketing has stopped being a fad and become a strategy that has helped change the goal of marketing. In the modern world of startups, growth marketing is a must have because it helps figure out the best way to grow a business and make it great. Effective marketing these days isn't just about getting leads at the top of the curve. It's also about attracting customers and building relationships with them that last. The main goal of growth marketing is to keep customers. Growth marketing lets companies try out new ideas, learn useful things, and change their products and strategies to better meet customer wants. Instead of focusing on getting new customers, growth marketers think of ways to make current customers more loyal and keep them for longer. The method gives you the chance to look at the whole customer lifecycle and use the information you get a more engaged audience and make money. Growth marketing is a great way to improve your marketing efforts and fine-tune your strategies over time to get better results, get more sales, and increase the lifetime value of your customers. What is marketing for growth? Growth marketing is a method that tries to find the best way for a business to grow by trying and testing different things. It mixes traditional marketing strategies with scientific methods that are based on data and involve making assumptions, testing them, and then refining or throwing them out. Search engine optimization, value-added content, cross-channel marketing, technical study of user experience, and other techniques are used by growth marketers a lot to create long-term growth that will last. The method improves marketing campaigns by using data from promotional campaigns and experiments. Growth marketing comes from the word growth hacking, which was first used by Sean Ellis to describe how fast-growing startups like Airbnb get and keep customers by using new, low-cost methods. As marketing technology got better, growth marketers started using more complex methods. In essence, they switched their focus from getting more customers in the short term to building relationships with people who were very interested in what they had to say. They also worked on reducing customer turnover and increasing the value of each customer over their lives. Growth marketers now pay attention to the whole customer trip instead of just the top of the funnel. Marketing experts come up with a go-to-market strategy, try out different channels, and keep improving the processes to attract, connect, and keep customers for less money and as quickly as possible. So, there is always an element of chance in growth marketing strategies, since some methods might work and others might not. At the same time, marketers use a /B testing and multivariate testing to try out different kinds of material for different groups of users. Then, they use the data to make strategies that are highly optimized for each segment and each customer. With a personalized approach, it's easier to give great customer service and offer useful content. As a result, customer satisfaction goes up and long-term loyalty is built. Now, we'll talk about how growth marketing is different from standard marketing. Selling for growth versus selling the old way. The end goal is the major difference between growth marketing and traditional marketing. Traditional marketing is mostly about getting new customers, while growth marketing is mostly about keeping the customers you already have. Unlike traditional marketing, which tries to turn a lead into a customer as soon as possible, growth marketing tries to guide a person through every stage of the sales funnel and finally build brand support. Traditional marketing often runs into two problems. Teams don't work together well, and it's hard to measure results. Let's look at the first issue. Companies often set up their teams based on where a sale is in the sales process. The marketing team's job is to make people aware of the brand and get them interested. The sales team's job is to turn leads into customers, and the product team's job is to keep customers coming back. Teams often miss chances to learn from each other's experiences and improve marketing efforts because departments don't work together and talk to each other enough. For example, the number of leads is often the goal of a marketing staff. If a marketing team brings in low-quality leads, it will be hard to turn them into customers, which will hurt the company as a whole. The second problem with standard marketing is that it is hard to measure. Marketers try to get as much attention as possible, but they don't always know what the results will be. Traditional platforms like magazines and TV don't let companies track how well their ads are doing or quickly look at metrics. Also, marketing efforts can last for a long time. A lot of big brands have 1 or 2 ads each year. In contrast, growth marketing uses science methods that can be tested, scaled up, and kept track of. Specialists come up with ideas for experiments, run controlled tests, gain insights, get rid of or move resources, and improve goods. Marketing for growth versus hacking for growth. Growth hacking and growth marketing are two different things. Growth hacking is a term for early stage startups that need to grow quickly but have a small budget. Sean Ellis defines growth hacking as a rigorous approach to fueling rapid market growth through high speed, cross functional experimentation. The goal of growth hacking is to get a lot of customers in a short amount of time. The hacking method means growing in any way possible without putting much thought into building a brand. Growth marketing, on the other hand, is only concerned with building the brand's story, value, and customer base. So growth marketing is a more general term that means increasing the audience by trying out different platforms and giving great customer service all the way through the funnel. Growth hacking, on the other hand, means putting a specific plan into action on a specific channel or making changes to a product in order to get more customers. Growth hackers want to see results quickly, while growth marketers want to see success and growth that lasts. Growth hacking looks at data to find patterns and improve results. Growth marketing, on the other hand, looks at data to find patterns and change strategy. The other difference is how growth hackers do their work. They mostly use their technical skills and look for pain points in the business. Growth marketers are experts at doing qualitative customer study and figuring out what it means in order to diagnose client problems. So, growth marketers are business thinkers who put customers first and pay attention to people and the competition. Now let's talk about how to make a growth marketing plan that will help you reach your marketing goals. Growth marketers choose certain measures and then try different things with them in order to improve business. Also, we'll talk about the methods growth marketers use to find, convert, and keep interested customers, as well as give you a list of important measures that would affect your business. In each area, set goals. Every good strategy needs clear goals and key performance indicators that can be measured. Growth marketing uses a lot of different strategies, so your team won't be able to handle all of them. So you need to choose the most important areas and set goals for them using the semi-arc method. For example, you can focus on improving the conversion process for people who visit your website for the first time, growing your customer base, or increasing the rate at which you get new customers. Find out what the key success indicators are, then you need to choose a few KPIs and use CRM software with built-in social media and website apps to measure performance. We can put the important data into groups based on where they are in the sales funnel. The AARR Pirate Metrics framework says that growth companies should keep track of 5 user behavior metrics: acquisition, activation, retention, referrals, and revenue. Let's look at each group in more depth. Metrics for awareness include website traffic, views, click-through rates, likes, shares, comments, and how people use a website. Acquisition KPIs include the number of leads created in a certain amount of time, the percentage of users who become customers, the cost of acquisition, and the rate at which emails are clicked. Activation measures include the time it takes to turn a lead into a customer, the number of sales made in a certain amount of time, and the number of customers who come back again and again. The average deal size, monthly recurring income, and revenue per user can all be used to measure how well revenue is doing. Customer satisfaction rate, customer term value, and customer churn are all ways to measure customer retention. Lastly, recommendation KPIs include the Net Promoter Score, the number of shares on social media, and the number of sales that come from customer reviews. Prepare for the test. Once you know what you want to improve and how you want to measure it, you can plan the project. First, you have to ask a question. For example, about 1,000 people visit your website every week, but only 50 of them ask for more information. In this case, the question would be, what's going on with the other 950 people, and why are they leaving the website without doing anything? Test just one thing at a time. If you add more factors, it will be hard to figure out why your results are what they are. When doing the test in one area, wait until it's done before starting the next one. The next step is to find out about the background. Find out what kinds of buyer characters are not becoming customers. You can ask current or future customers to fill out surveys or meet with them in small groups to find out what they want and why. At this point, you can set a timeline, plan your marketing budget, and figure out what the goal is. Your team should gather information about all parts of the customer encounter. This means that digital marketers, data scientists, and engineers should work together to set up accurate tracking on websites, mobile apps, POS systems, email marketing, and customer databases. After you've set up the right tracking, you need to combine different sources of user data to make a complete picture of how users act that your data team can look at. Lastly, you need to set up a data warehouse, which is a place where you can store all of the information you have about your customers and find different groups of customers who are different from each other. Make a guess and test it with a theory. Then you need to make a hypothesis and think about what you can do to make things better. Your marketing team can give you ideas for how to improve the target area. The ICE scoring model gives each idea a score based on its impact, confidence, and ease of execution. You can probably guess that some people leave after making a single purchase. This could be a sign that you need to improve how you find, nurture, and keep customers. Then do an experiment based on what you think will happen. For example, you've chosen to use more personalized messaging to get more of your customer personas as new customers. Last, look at the facts. You might find that your costs of getting new customers went down by 50% when you started to personalize your marketing and treat customers' pain points instead of marketing to everyone in the same way. Try out a /B testing. One of the best ways to use growth marketing is to test. With a /B testing, you can look at how your target audience acts and try out different ways of talking to them. This method also lets you test a certain marketing approach, channel, or type of content and helps you figure out which one works better and why. For example, to promote a post on social media, you can use 2 different pictures or titles. Then you have to keep an eye on the campaign to see which version did better. Then you can compare the ad that did the best with the other one and keep a /B testing until you get the best result. With each round of tests, you'll get closer to the best version that gives you the results you want. A growth marketing experiment tries to change a key performance indicator that affects your total metric area. If the results of your experiment improved how well your company did in that area, you can go back to step 1 and choose the next area to improve. How to make your marketing more like growth marketing? Successful growth marketers know that meeting buyers' wants at every stage of the funnel is the key to growing a business. Because of this, it's important to keep the whole customer process in mind as you go through the steps we'll talk about below. 1. Make a team with members from different departments. A growth marketing team isn't just a group of people who know how to market. You should put together a group of people who can handle every part of the sales process. A growth lead, a product manager, a software engineer, a marketing specialist, a product designer, and a data analyst make up the right growth marketing team. 2. You should add more stations. If you only use one site, your plan for growing your business might fail. It would be hard to see the whole journey of a customer and reach more people at the same time. By using a range of advertising and marketing channels in your marketing mix, you can find out more about your customers. 3. Adapt your material to different channels and audiences. When you use a lot of different platforms, you have to make a lot of content to back up your actions. You can change and reuse existing content by changing its format or making it fit the wants of different groups of people. For instance, you can turn a story into an infographic or a video into a publication by transcribing it. 4. Make sure your customers are still involved. Give your customers the chance to connect with your brand. Use polls and surveys to get people interested in social media, build a customer community, and react as soon as possible to customer feedback and ideas. 5. Look at trends. You can always try new ways to market for growth and play around with different marketing platforms and digital tools. Try chatbots, live streaming videos, mobile ads, geofencing, or advanced AI-based targeting systems to see which one works best. By doing the same things over and over, you're not likely to get great results. Instead, keep trying things out, coming up with new ideas, and proving or disproving them. Some of the studies won't work out the way you want them to, but you can use what you've learned to run better tests in the future. Long-tail keywords. People's use of search engines has changed a lot in the past few years. People have gotten better at searching and learned how to narrow their results by adding more detailed terms. Jim Jansen, a researcher with a PhD in computer science from Penn State, looked at more than 1 million web searches to find out how queries change over time. The researcher found that 22% of search queries were changed or redone to better describe the information users were looking for. Searchers often switch from broad to specific phrases and from a broad topic to a specific set of problems. For example, Google's internal shopping search data showed that when people were looking for things like books, chocolate, or birthday cards, they searched by description. They used clearer and more accurate search terms to get better search results. These insights are very helpful for marketers when making user models and choosing effective keywords for website optimization. Using long-tail terms is the best way to get a specific group of people to visit your website. What are long-tail keywords? Long-tail keywords are search terms with 3 to 5 words that are usually more specific and detailed than head keywords, which only have 1 or 2 words. They can be asked as questions or written as sentences that focus on a certain problem, market, or sector. In this case, the long tail refers to where the questions fall on the search demand curve. The keywords are at the bottom of the graph because they have a high possible conversion rate, but not many searches. Head names tend to have more competition than long-tail keywords. Because these phrases are so detailed, they aren't used as often. People search in different ways, so they only look for long-tail topics a few times a month. So, a long-tail keyword is a phrase with 4 distinct qualities. It has more than 1 word, fewer people look for it, it has less competition, and it has a higher conversion rate. So these terms are aimed at a niche group and give marketers a lot of opportunities. Why pay attention to long-tail keywords? Long-tail terms are important for people who work in digital marketing for 3 main reasons. We'll tell you more about them below. Higher value of change. The first reason to focus on long-tail search terms is the chance to get leads who are more likely to buy. Even though phrases don't get as many views as short-tail keywords, they are more likely to reach people who are ready to buy. With long-tail keywords, you can bring people to your website who are already interested in your brand and turn them into customers without doing anything else. Long-tail keywords reach people who are ready to buy, unlike one-word searches, which are usually used to find information. Smart Insights says that the click-through rate for long-tail searches is 3 to 6% higher than that for general terms. Also, because search phrases are more specific than one-word queries, they are more useful to the audience and have a higher chance of being converted. Less competition. Many companies are putting their money on general search queries in the hopes of getting more customers and making more money. But there are many problems with this method. Most of the time, high-volume terms lead to a lot of competition. So, it will take more time and money to rank for them. Fewer people search for more specific words each month, but that gives you a chance to make content that better meets customer wants and gives users a better experience. The best way to reach more people is to mix head keywords with long-tail keywords. Most of the time, long-tail keywords have head terms that you want to rank for. So, you can reach 2 goals at once by improving your score for both general and more specific searches. Personalized experience for the user. In today's world, personalization makes it possible to get the right information to the right people at the right time. Long-tail keywords can help you optimize your content plan for your target customers because they often include descriptive words like gender, location, or country. You can make content that fits the needs of different buyer personas and shows goods and services in the best light by using specific search queries. It lets you make a content marketing plan that works better and is more consistent and takes advantage of contextual marketing possibilities. Let's stop talking about how to find long-tail keywords and start looking at how to do it. How to find keywords with long tails. It takes some work to find long-tail keywords that bring people to your website and move them through the sales funnel. You might have to try a few different themes before you find the one that works. Now we'll talk about 9 ways to find long-tail keywords. Google searches related to and type in a topic. At the bottom of Google's search results, where it says searches related to, you can find useful keywords. First, type in a search term for which you want to rank. Second, go to the page's bottom and look at the list of suggested terms. You will be given a number of terms to think about. Then you can pick one of the queries from the searches related to area and type it into Google. By doing this several times, you will be able to come up with a long list of good search words. Google Autocomplete. The other way to do useful keyword study is to use Google Autocomplete. You only have to type your question into the search area. Then Google will show you a drop-down list of common search terms. You can put in a keyword and the first letter of the other word, or you can add more words to get different answers. You can also use phrase generators like Ubersuggest and keywordtool.io to get long-tail queries from Google Autocomplete. Both of these tools do the same thing. You just need to type in a seed term and click Search to get a list of hundreds of possible keywords. Use questions with what and how. People who use Google often ask questions when they look. When thinking of long-tail questions your audience might ask, start with what, where, and how. These phrases show what people care about when it comes to your topic, so using this way to search for long-tail keywords will give you many good ideas. Add qualifiers to short-tail searches. Use terms and phrases that describe your market, product, or service. For example, if you were selling coffee, you could say organic decaf coffee, dark roast coffee, or freshly roasted coffee beans delivered. Try putting in the facts about where the place is. Coffee delivery services in Boston is an example. If you want to promote a local brand, you should add near me to your search result. Users who add geographic areas to their queries are usually at the end of the buyer's journey, so there is a higher chance that they will buy. Use the Answer the Public tool. Answer the Public is a keyword tool that uses autocomplete data from Google and other search engines to come up with exact sentences and questions related to your search term. Answer the Public is a good place to find long tail terms because most of the questions that the tool gives you have more than 3 words. With the help of long tail keywords, you can learn more about your customers' problems and make content, goods, and services that are useful to them. Forums, boards, and social media are all. Check forums and message boards connected to your topic and think about the questions people often ask. This will help you come up with the best keyword ideas for your niche. You can use the words and sentences in the questions as long-tail keywords. Check out the titles of the most recent threads and look at the words used to describe your subject. Look at popular words and phrases that people use when they talk. Quora, Reddit, 9gag, Hive, Answers.com, and Askville by Amazon are the best places to do topic research. Also, people ask. This Google tool will also help you add more words to your list of keywords. When you look at the search results, you'll see a part with questions about the term you typed in. When you click on the question, the box will show you other questions you can use to think of keywords. Google Trends. Google Trends is a useful tool that lets you find words that you won't find on other keyword research sites. With this tool, you can find out if your keyword is interesting to people by looking at news stories and the number of searches for it. Your main goal is to find the terms that are becoming more popular. Then look at the related queries part and add the new long-tail phrases to the list. Soovle. Soovle is a website that looks at Google, Amazon, Wikipedia, Yahoo, Ask.com, and YouTube to suggest keywords. Because of this, you'll be able to find new terms that are hard to find with other keyword research tools. This site also helps you find long-tail keywords that many of your rivals miss. Some examples of long-tail keywords. This part will talk about how to find long-tail keywords and make a list of them using the methods we've already talked about. Let's look at the graphic design tool Canva as an example. You can use it to make presentations, posters, publications, pictures for social media, and other visual material. Let's look for Canva Desktop on Google. We'll see keyword choices that we can use as long-tail terms, like Canva Desktop Wallpaper, Canva Desktop App versus Website, Canva Desktop Wallpaper Maker, and Canva Desktop Wallpaper Ideas. The People Also Ask part shows the following results. What is Canva application? Is Canva a software application? And is Canva software free? We can also use the search terms Canva app for PC and apps connected to Canva from the related searches box. Then we'll look for long-tail keywords about Amazon. For example, if we type Amazon into Google Trends and choose United States, the tool will offer shipping to Amazon Fay Rapid Express Freight, Amazon Black Friday deals, and Amazon Prime Shopping. We can now add these to our list of long-tail terms. We can also look for Amazon Shopping to find more phrases like Amazon Shopping all items, Amazon Prime Shopping online books, Amazon Online Shopping lowest price, Amazon Online Shopping offers today, and Amazon Shopping all departments. Slack is a business communication tool. Here is a list of its terms. When you look for Slack on Quora, it shows you questions that people have asked, which can be turned into long-tail queries. So, the list of keywords might include pros and cons of Slack vs HipChat, Microsoft Teams vs Slack, how does Slack compare to Asana, is Slack better than Google Hangouts, how reliable is Slack, what kind of technology does Slack use, and team communication Slack or Asana. Marketers can get a lot out of long-tail terms. With these search queries, you can better meet customer wants and make content that drives sales or helps salespeople do their jobs. Using long-tail terms will help you improve your website and draw in people who are interested in what you have to say. Once you find the keywords that work for your brand, both your website's score and the number of people who buy from it will go up. Brand management. Your company's name is more than just the things it sells. It talks about how you deal with customers, your company's culture, and how you treat stakeholders and workers. Brand has to do with your company's purpose, values, and how people think of it. Companies use brand management to keep track of how people feel about their business. Brand management is important if you want to keep your brand's image in good shape and make sure that people see your brand the way you want them to. It shows how long and strong your business will be. You can't make a great brand that stays on the market without brand management. What is brand management? Brand management is the process of creating a good brand experience and making sure that the brand is shown to the right people in the right way. Brand management uses many different methods, like public relations, advertising, strategy analysis, and market research, to change how people think about a brand over time. Effective brand management strategy helps build brand recognition, grow a loyal customer base, and as a result, make more money and increase brand equity. People often get the words branding and brand management mixed up. Branding is the process of making a brand, while brand management helps businesses grow and keep a good name. Brand management is the set of steps that are needed to keep a brand's personality consistent. It makes it easier for all of the company's branding elements, like style, message, and events, to fit with the image the company wants to show. Brand management is about both the things you can see and the things you can't see. Product packaging and price are examples of physical features, while emotional connections with the audience and the customer experience are examples of intangible features. Brand management also involves keeping the company's image in good shape and thinking about the products that will be sold under the company's name, or speaking with analysts to figure out which businesses to buy or merge with. In the first step of managing a brand, you decide what your goals are. Vision and purpose are the most important parts of any brand because they help you plan for the future. The vision sets the goals for your business and how customers will see it in the years to come. The company exists for a reason other than to make money, which is its brand purpose. The brand mission is a short statement that says what the company stands for and what it hopes to happen in the future. When making a brand strategy, you should think about the people you help and what your company does for the community. Not only should you think about your customers, but you should also think about your workers. Make sure that workers understand and care about the company's values. Your business choices will be based on your brand's purpose. If you can answer why and say what the goal is, you'll be able to answer how and what questions about company culture and products. Also, customers expect companies to be open and honest. People want to spend their money on more than just goods or services. They want to support a higher goal that drives the business they buy from, like protecting the earth or valuing different cultures. Setting up a brand. The next step is to figure out where you stand in the market. The main goal of positioning is to make connections in the minds of target consumers that will change how they think about the company. How appealing and trustworthy people think a brand is a measure of how well it is positioned. It makes customers believe the company, feel good about the brand, and want to buy the products or services. A business can also stand out from its competitors if it positions its brand well. It helps people know about the company, gets their attention, and justifies the pricing strategy. Positioning makes the brand stand out, sets it apart from similar goods, and tells customers what the benefits are. When figuring out how to place your brand, you can use a number of different methods. You can, for example, highlight the good things about your brand, compare it to other brands in your target market, focus on your customers' wants or a small group of people, or link your brand to cultural symbols. The first steps are to figure out who the target market is, what the main brand characteristics are, what the rivals are, and what the perceptual map is. Design and planning for a brand. At the brand creation stage, you'll come up with the brand's name, slogan, logo, online presence, and plan for going to market. These basics are important for any business to get off the ground, so they shouldn't be forgotten. Brand designers should figure out the personality the company wants to show while working on the visual part. So, they should pay close attention to the company's vision, mission, and goal. One of the most important parts of brand design is coming up with a name. It should say something important, tell a story, and give information that your customers can relate to. Customers' first experience with your brand is through your name, so it's important to make a good one. The logo is the next most important part. It would be used to represent your business on social media, in ads, on swag, and on labels. You need to make a logo before you work on the other visual elements, like fonts, style, and color, because they will describe how your brand looks in future projects. Then it's time to create the rest of the visuals, like the packaging, labels, fonts, and mascots. If you want to make the experience of your brand more personal, animals can help. These are figures that were made to make the brand seem more real. Mascots can either be different from the logo or be a part of it. The figures help you connect with your customers, get your brand's message across, and make your brand more recognizable and easy to remember. Lastly, you need to make a plan for getting the business out there. Things to think about are your value offering, how you talk to customers, and how they get from point A to point B. Think about the tools, resources, and other things you might need to help you sell. Make use cases and user profiles. In our piece on digital branding, we get into the details of how a brand is made. Experience of a brand. Branding is about more than how the customer feels. It covers every part of how your customers interact with your business. Brand experience is a broad term that covers brand strategy, user experience, and customer experience. It has to do with how people feel, think, and feel before, during, and after interacting with any part of the brand. A positive business experience is a great way to connect with customers, get them more involved, and get them to do something. A great brand experience makes it much more likely that your product will be chosen over those of your rivals. Creating a great business experience can be done in many ways. Use social media and blogs to tell the story of your brand to excite customers and get them interested. Keep all of the different parts, like how you look, what you say, and how you act, the same. Use polls and contests to get people interested in your brand. Look at what customers say on social media to learn more about them and meet their changing wants. Brand engagement. Company engagement means that the customer feels a strong emotional connection to the company. There are two ways to get people interested in your brand: internally and externally. Internal engagement is the relationship between a brand and its workers or other people who care about the brand. External engagement is how the business interacts with the people it wants to reach. Both kinds of participation are important for the success of the brand management process as a whole. Positive engagement with the company from the outside has a positive effect on good relationships with customers and their willingness to buy the products. People usually interact with your business at places like the official website, social media platforms, stores, and online reviews. The best ways to get customers involved are to hold freebies and polls, host online and offline events, encourage customers to share user-generated content, give coupons and discounts, and ask for feedback. Corporate culture and the mission and values of your business are inextricably linked to internal engagement. When internal involvement is done well, employee performance goes up, turnover goes down, a community grows, and future goals are kept in mind. Holding company events, team building activities, employee wellness programs, rewards, and satisfaction polls are all ways to get employees more involved with the company. How to measure a brand. Measurement is the last step that must be taken for the brand management process to work. It will give you a better idea of how your business is doing with the people you want to reach and against the competition. Brand analysis also helps companies figure out how well their current marketing mix is working and plan for the future. This method can help both new and established brands improve how they measure their general brand. In this case, there are a number of brand indicators that can be used. They include signs of how people feel, what they buy, and how much money they have. In other words, you can look at what people think about your brand, how users interact with it, how your target market buys and uses your product, and how much money it brought in. You can find out how well known your brand is by using surveys, focus groups, comments in local media and reviews, store traffic, and the number of times your brand is searched for. To study customer preference, use sales data and questionnaires. Include questions about how relevant the brand is, how easy it is to get, and how it makes you feel. With the Net Promoter Score, you ask a question like, on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend brand to your family and friends? Have you ever bought product from our name before? Will help you figure out who your current and past clients are. Ask people to choose from a list of competing names, the ones they usually buy. You can also look at data about your website, such as the conversion rate, traffic sources, and social media data, such as shares, engagement, and recommendations. The best ways to run a brand. We'll also give you a list of the best ways to handle your brand's positive image and make your business stand out. Content marketing is worth your attention. Content marketing is one of the most important things that affects the reputation of your business. Its main goal is to make educational material like blog posts, ebooks, and articles for social media. Content marketing, on the other hand, gives customers free knowledge that helps them solve their problems. This method builds trust and improves how people see a brand. Give your customers a first-rate experience. Your main goal is to make sure customers are happy. Happy customers write good reviews and tell their friends and family about their experiences. Stay in touch with your customers by sending them newsletters, updates, and asking them to share their thoughts, success stories, and recommendations. Provide customer support via various channels. Use tools for social listening. Negative comments can do a lot of damage to your image, so you need to be able to respond quickly. With the help of social listening tools, you can keep an eye on bad comments and mentions. For example, many CRM systems have a built-in function that sends alerts when a customer writes something good or bad about your brand. Use a customized method. Personalization is an important part of keeping a good name. Do some qualitative study on the customer's needs, interests, and recent purchases before you reach out to them. CRM lets you look at order history, old help tickets, and other important information. Use this knowledge to help the sales department do a better job and to improve communication. Improve staff engagement. It's important to keep in mind that customer experience is just as important to brand management as staff satisfaction. Satisfied workers will help customers better and work harder, which will affect the reputation of the brand. Collect feedback from employees to improve processes, set up a bonus system, and give them chances to grow. The brand manager is the person in the company who is in charge of the success of all the things we've talked about so far. A brand manager's main job is to make sure that the goods and services of the company meet the needs of both new and old customers. These experts keep an eye on how the market is changing, look at what the competition is offering, and change the company's plan to meet market needs. Let's talk in depth about the most important duties. Getting information about the market. Market study is done by brand managers so they can keep up with customer trends. Market research tells the company important things about how likely it is that its product or service will be good. With this information, the experts can set the best price and figure out who is most likely to buy the goods. So, market research leads to more sales of sales and better customer management, which both help the business grow as a whole. Creating marketing plans and taking care of efforts. Usually, brand managers help come up with both long term and short term marketing plans. For example, when making a content marketing strategy, brand managers may help content strategists and writers come up with the best long term plan. The specialists also look at how well marketing efforts do and write reports about it. The brand manager is also in charge of setting up events, such as shows and product launches. The brand managers may be in charge of the portfolio of goods to bring in more customers and make the brand more well known. Keeping the name consistent. The professionals look at the advertising, product design, and marketing material to make sure that everything fits with the brand's voice and positioning. The brand managers have to make sure that the visual identity, brand messaging, and core values of the business all fit with the company's overall strategy and meet the needs of customers. The specialists do study on how customers see the brand and use brand identity guidelines to make sure that the brand is the same across all channels. Working with the sales and support teams to make marketing materials for a product. Brand managers lead and coordinate teams that work on operations, finance, sales, and developing new products so that marketing activities go well. The experts meet with clients and work with marketing managers, marketing assistants, and chief executives. They also work with advertising companies to make sure that all communications follow the brand's goal and rules. The specialists are also in charge of keeping track of and planning for marketing spending. They take care of the money for advertising and promotion, making content, and getting the software that marketing efforts need. Brand managers look at sales forecasts and report on how well their products are selling. A brand manager is one of the most important people in a company because they make sure that the market sees your brand in the right way. The brand manager looks at the feedback from customers and the return on investment, ROI, from the marketing campaigns to find out what worked well for some goods. So, the specialist is in charge of all creative work, helps support the company's plan, and helps come up with ideas for new projects. Conclusion. Brand management is a key part of building and keeping a good image, as well as the overall success of a brand. It looks at many aspects of a brand's online and offline appearance and gives customers a clear idea of what the brand stands for. Each company's approach to brand management is different, but the goal is always the same: to build a unique and memorable brand or rebrand the products if that opens up new possibilities.